Because if you don't cut out a cancer, guess what? It comes back. I saw this video on TikTok of this woman, and she said, pay attention to the people who make you feel good. Wow. You need to take a moment to actually go ahead and evaluate who you have around you, for one. I've had so many experiences where I was hanging around people just because, for one reason or another, there was something about the chaos of that relationship that fed into the trauma that I've experienced, and the hurt felt good. You don't understand. The people around you, not saying that they're innately bad people, but just like I teach my students in chemistry, right? There are different types of bonds and relationships that atoms form. Some are completely transferring of a piece of them or their electron to another atom, and some there are sharing of the electrons equally, and some the sharing isn't equal. You know, so there's so many different types of bonds that occur, different types of relationships that occur, even at the atomic level. How much more in actual visual, physical life that we see? You don't realize that the people around you, just by being in your presence, could be so jarring, so draining, that it literally sucks the life out of you. Being in a job where things could be going great, the pay is great, the people, they're nice, but there's something about the atmosphere that just doesn't settle and sit right with your spirit. Listen, our spirits get disrupted just by the presence of someone else who just shouldn't be in our space. You have to listen to these things. And yes, sometimes there's obstacles and adversities that actually are placed there to, provide the opportunity for growth to occur. And sometimes those obstacles are actually the means of communication for you to really take a step back and say, yeah, this is not where I'm supposed to be. Same thing goes with, like, let's say you're dating somebody and the person you're dating, things that they have may just be so overwhelmingly too much just to handle for you. You have to listen to that, and you have to evaluate it, and you have to see. And again, I'm not saying that, you don't help support somebody as they're growing and glowing and flowing. But sometimes, if not most times, you be saving yourself the headache of actually evaluating, is this what's best for me? Right? I know for me, I've experienced not leaving a job just because I want to be there for the kids that I worked for. And when you have that kind of mindset, this might be a curveball, but when you have that mindset, it could be perceived as being, that you have a big heart and you're putting others before you or something like that. The truth is, that's a form of narcissism, because you believing that your presence makes so much of a difference that if you leave, the place won't function and life basically stops. Yeah, that's not you're not really doing it with the mindset of the place and the people there in mind. You're doing it because there's something in you that doesn't want to quit, or doesn't want to be perceived as a quitter, or be perceived as someone who gives up, or it's a form of narcissism. And once you actually accept that, you can realize that, you know what? I need to do what's best for me. Selfishness is not a bad thing. It's the intention behind the selfishness. Like, selfishness or being selfish is how we preserve ourselves. Because if I have a meal and you're in need, if I can share, I should, right? But the only one who gave his life up for us was Jesus Christ. I'm not Jesus Christ. And unless I get a message from the Lord himself telling me to give to you, and I'm going to die, or I have to move on faith, love you, but hopefully see you later. You know? And the thing is, everyone, oh no, I wouldn't do. Yes, you would. Yes, you would. Because self-preservation. We are literally all wired to think of us first. So being selfish isn't a bad thing. And putting yourself first isn't a bad thing. It's when you do it in a way that is malicious is when it becomes a bad thing. But when you're doing it because you desire to preserve yourself, your being, your spirit, that's what you should do. And I think that's a lot. That's something that is missing in general from everybody. We just don't do that. We don't actually take the time to be selfish and to, you know, put ourselves first and say, hey, this is what I need, and you're not meeting my needs, so there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that this ain't gonna work out. Okay? So you need to remove the things that are just not doing what they should in your life. I cannot stress this enough. You could do the work of, you know, really analyzing your habits, taking the time to do all the things and get really deep and be real with yourself. But if you don't actually say, this person is draining me. Every time I'm around them, I just feel so icky about myself. But I've known them for my whole life. If you don't have the courage to show up for yourself and at least change the dynamic at the very least with that person, in terms of maybe you just don't chill with them, they don't have the same position that they did before in your life, listen, things are going to remain the same. You're going to be back in the same place, repeating the cycle all over again. Because if you don't cut out a cancer, guess what? It comes back. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that little notification bell so you know every single time that I upload. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.